Arigachimasu. Okay, coming up from the ground, pressing down to come up. Wow, that's quite the visual. Hang out. And let's just make sure our breathing is good. Release the abdomen. Consciously release the tension that's here. Hanging out. In Tai Chi, we use the famous string that suspends the head from above, and we just hang out from there. Another nice imagery is a suit jacket or a garment hanging on a hanger. So our body is that suit jacket or that sweater, just hanging. But the nice imagery for the suit jacket hanging, the reason why that's very applicable is that the suit jacket is hanging, but there's space in there, right? We don't want to be the suit jacket thrown on the bed, all crumpled up and collapsed. You want to be hanging, but there's space. Like you put your hand in the suit jacket, there's space in there. Our body's hanging out, weight entering to the ground, but we're not collapsed and crumpled. There's space in our body. That's a pretty good imagery. And each out breath, consciously releasing more and more tension. In fact, for a few breaths, focus directly on allowing more of your weight to enter the ground with each out breath. So each time you exhale, see if you can release tensions in the body, hips, legs, to allow the weight to free fall more freely through the legs into the ground. So each time you exhale, can you allow more weight just to fall through your body into the ground, again, without any collapsing at all. And take a deep breath in through the nose, long breath out through the mouth, release the hands, let them swing, and let them continue swinging, but try to minimize you doing that with your arms. Just access gravity and momentum. Gravity and momentum. So I'm going to say, I could say that that's why I chose this background today. That's why I chose it. We'll say that because I wanted to emphasize gravity and momentum. Just like a planet orbiting around the sun or the moon orbiting around the planet, we want to access and work with those natural forces of gravity and momentum. And that's what's moving my arms, not my muscles. Again, each out breath is a releasing breath. And if I bring my legs a bit more into it, where I bend the knees a little bit, I can access more momentum. And then because my arms are being swung up a little higher, because I'm pushing into the ground a bit more, I can access more gravity or gravity for a longer period of time for the swing down, which allows them to swing further in front, which allows them to swing further back out to the sides. So this very, very simple maneuver where I'm just allowing my arms to swing and kind of bouncing up and down using my legs is actually a very important, simple training methodology. Because probably a more obvious thing is I'm learning to relax, release my shoulders and arms. Again, I want to completely minimize the muscle efforting to make this happen. I want the arms just to swing just because of gravity and momentum and nothing else. Well, and intention as well. Your intentional vector is what determines how your arms swing. Are they sideways, forward and back? So those, we'll call them those three forces: gravity, momentum, and intention. Those are the more obvious ones, but something that's really, really useful for this simple movement is something else we talk about continuously, and that is using the ground. So I'm pressing my feet into the ground. So I don't want to use my legs, so to speak. Just like I said, I want to minimize the muscling in my arms to cause a movement. I also want to minimize the muscling in my legs. I'm simply pressing my feet into the ground. Each time I press my feet into the ground, the earth presses back. So in that sense, I'm using the earth to generate the force, not my muscles, not my legs. I do have to move my legs, of course, to press, to jump down, bend my knees, and then press off. But just like a trampoline. So the earth is kind of like a very stiff trampoline. So if you've ever experienced a trampoline, that's kind of a good experience. But even if you haven't, you can imagine. For the trampoline to push me up, I have to press down. And then the trampoline can give back. That's exactly what's happening here. I press down into the earth, press my feet down, the earth pushes back. So that pushback from the earth is what sends me up, and that's what sends the arms out. And then I just relax down with gravity. So I let gravity do that work to drop down. So try to put in two simple vectors, two simple ways, two simple forces. I use the earth, push me up, and swing my arms out. Well, I don't have to do it. I have to use intention, awareness and intention. That's my work. But the physical work, I let the ground push me up. Of course, I have to press into the ground for that to happen. That's my intention. Press into the ground, let the ground push you up and sends your arms out. So in a sense, you don't have to muscularly do that. And to come back down, to start another cycle, I don't have to do that either. I don't have to come back down. I just relax and let go. Gravity brings me back down, ready for another push-off. So that's a long-winded way of saying that I'm minimizing the muscle contractual work. I'm learning to relax, release, and open the body and join with natural forces. Now, if you press off a bit more, go even higher, releasing those shoulder joints. So again, the issue and the challenge is how much can I let go of my arms? How much can I release my shoulders? How much can I not do this? How much can I not do this with my arms? How much can I not strive to jump up? I simply press down into the ground with more intention, or I free fall straight down into the ground to get more push off, to get more launch. So the more I can relax down and release, the more I can be launched again. So again, I'm getting more action here, more movement, more power, but I'm still just using ground, gravity, and my intentional vector. Now imagine this in a martial setting, martial aspect. We want to do our techniques, Aikido, Kokugash, whatever we might be doing, with these same principles, just as relaxed, just as natural, just as much using cosmic forces, gravity, momentum, and our personal force, we'll call it intentional, intention vectors. So when we're doing technique or even self-defense, we can have the same sort of alignment with naturalness, natural forces, same sort of openness, same sort of natural movement. And if you push off even more, you can get a full orbit. Yes, I'm choosing my words today according to our background. See how much you can release those shoulder joints. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment. You can pause too for a moment if you like, or if you're having fun and really enjoying it, keep on going. But I want to again contrast. This is my arms doing it, right? This is my arms doing it. It's my deltoids, chest muscles. And that's Western exercise and external martial arts. How powerful are your muscles? How powerful can you turn those hips? It's on a very physical level. And that's an important level. But there's many, 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 many deeper levels beyond that. So I don't want to be doing it this way. I want to have my arms just hanging, just as natural and open and released and comfortable as just hanging. But I'm using momentum and rhythm and natural forces. I push down, and so I'm pushed back up again by the earth. But my arms are just doing this. So just a reminder, notice if you're using a lot of muscle, that takes a lot of developing awareness. Big part of what we're developing in internal martial arts is the mind-body connection and getting deeper in the body with our mind, deeper in the body with our awareness, finer, sharper awareness. So we notice any overdoings, we get finer at noticing incorrectness on a very physical, simple level. Am I leaning? In this case, am I using a tiny bit more muscle than I need to? So contrasting is very educational, very illustrative. So what I'd like you to do is do this very muscularly, just for a few seconds. Use your arms, use your shoulders. Go the other way, use your arms, use your shoulders. Okay, that's what it's not, right? So that's what we don't want to do. So once more, muscularly, physically, and then now that we really know what it feels like to really use our shoulder muscles and arm muscles, see if you can totally erase that and just use dropping and sinking, dropping and sinking. Try not to have any of that sensation of using your arms and shoulder muscles. Natural release. That's a huge part of what we're doing in all our techniques, all our movements, even in a very direct self-defense situation. Now, in a moment, we're going to have our arms swing in the other direction, but we're going to try to do it without using the arm muscles. You just change your mental direction, and then the body can follow. That's it. The more you press into the ground, the more the ground gives back to you, the more force and energy the ground gives back to you. And if you align yourself right, physically and mentally, the more it can swing those arms. Excellent. Now take a big step forward, and same idea with forward and back. Am I using my arm muscles? Am I using my back muscle? Or can I be that suit jacket or hang out from the string and press into the ground with my front foot to send me back? Press down my back foot to send me forward. Upper body is just going for a ride. Upper body is just hanging directly vertically down. Now again, let's contrast just for a moment. Use your arms. Feel that, feel what that's like. Really get acquainted with that feeling so you know what not to do. Let go of that contractual muscle work. Completely let go. Let the shoulders and arms be completely the opposite of that. And the harder you press into the ground with your foot, the more it swings those arms. And other side. Relaxation, but also alignment, mental vectors or the intention, set everything up, and then we just relax and open. Let me know if you have any questions or comments on these principles and actions. Good, and just let gravity completely take it. So you stop your intentional vectors and just have your intentional vector to be up and down with that vertical axis. Coming back here, knees bent a little bit, some nice big hip circles. So we're going to orbit the hips in a big revolving orbit around a spot on the floor between your legs, and orbit the other way. And roll the shoulders. And other way. Good. Okay. So probably feeling pretty warmed up too. So the side benefit is it warms us up. But really these warm-up moves, these beginning moves are training moves. So it's very deep and fine training, becomes very fine, very subtle, all those things that we talked about. And what's really neat is very simple movements. We can train those things. So let's take that as much as we can into our technique movements or program movements. So we're going to start with the later part of the white belt program, Breton's program, just because usually the latter part of the program doesn't get as much time spent on it. So let's start there and then we'll move into 7th Q program. Okay, so let's go right into Tenkan Undo. Tenkan itself, Tenkan proper, is simply the back leg going back. But this is Tenkan, that's in the program too. But Tenkan Undo, Undo means exercise, Undo means drill. So in this case, for us, it means we're going to step in Tenkan. So a senpai will know, adult, hit senpai. Irimi Tenkan means entering and turning. Irimi is entering, Tenkan is turning. So that's what we're doing for Tenkan Undo for white belt program. Back leg comes up, front leg comes back 90 degrees. We're going to stay in a front stance. Back leg comes up, that's Irimi. Tenkan, stay in a front stance for this level. And we're not doing a slide step for this level. And left 7th Q, if you want to work on the slide step, something that's a little bit more advanced, that's totally fine. White belt level, there's no slide step in terms of moving back and forth. That's going to drive Manucci. Pushing off the back leg, upward arc, back leg settling back, draws the arms down. Remember to have as big an arc as possible, so not in, as big an arc as possible without leaning and without locking your elbows. Remember the suit jacket hanging out, that'll keep you nice and vertical, relaxed, weight entering the ground the whole time. So 1 count is there and back. Okay, here we go. Each, knee, nice big arc with the arms, san, ki, go, broke, each, touch. Okay. Senpai Odin, Senpai Kyla, I want to see more extension. Okay, and deeper knee bend. You want to make this very focused, very intense, even if it's your millionth time of doing a Tenkan. You want to make it vibrant and alive. So if you need to imagine something in front of you or something or someone coming towards you and you're getting out of the way, and that's why sometimes I actually do that for you. When I do that right away here, put some energy into it to wake you up, to make it more real, to make it more alive, make it more dynamic, because I'm seeing you kind of go to sleep. Make this real, enliven it, put your spirit into it. Okay, so I wish I had a lightsaber right now because that would kind of go with the background, but we'll just use what we have. Okay, I'm going to come towards you with the Shoman cut. And so now you need to time it, keep a nice big personal space. So you're going to do the 90-degree Tenkan, what we just did. And then come back, use the same motion to come back just for practice. So now you have to employ the dimension of timing. Okay. Okay, Hami no Kamai. Yeah. So Breton, that's good timing. Yeah. Okay, one thing. So Breton, it looks like you might be doing more than 90 degrees. So we just want to do the 90. Looks like you're going to 180 or almost 180. So when you do this one, you start facing, we'll say the front wall, which is the camera. And then you should be facing the side wall. The wall is to the left before you move. So I start facing the front. I end up facing the left wall for this one, back to the front. Okay, let's do a couple more. I'm going to come a little faster, perhaps. Yeah, Bonnie, that's good movement, good shape, good structure. Looks very, very crisp. Kyla, that's looking better. Okay, now next on that program is 180 degrees, right? So same dynamic with the arms. Pushing off that back foot drives the arc forward and up. As the foot slides back to the back position, draws the arms down, really big arc. Okay, so one count is there and back, each. Huh? She. Whoa. So Odin, we need more extension. Rope. Seats. That's right, Breton. Hutch. Ooh. Jute. Yes. Yeah, Bonnie and Aladdin, that's looking good. Okay, we're gonna move into Bonnie and Aladdin's program now. Seventh program. So Chico, I'm gonna show the basic version for Breton. And depending on your floor surface and what kind of shape your knees are in, you might only do 2 or 3 of them. You don't have to do very much. So this will probably be new for Breton. Chico is knee walking, and it's kind of actually hard to get across. Hard to get across in outer space, but we'll do the best we can. It's going to be, basically, I want to keep my feet close together, my heels together, and we'll spend more time with this over more classes, so eventually this will come together. So I bring the knee up. This is all about turning the hips, not coming up and down, turning the hips laterally. Here, I'm on the ball of my foot. And of course, the senpai know that it's hand stays with the knee, my body's coordinated. Leg and arm goes together. I'm up on the ball of my foot, knee drops down. The ball of my foot, knee drops down. Again, turning my hips to move everything. Seventh cue, as you know, you're doing Irimi Tenkan, right? And as you might remember, Irimi Tenkan is enter and turn. Irimi Tenkan. Irimi Tenkan. Irimi Tenkan. Irimi Tenkan. Irimi Tenkan. And stay with the knees. Irimi Tenkan. Irimi Tenkan. Enter in. Turn. In order to give you a little tip, you let the knees come together. I see I'm kind of disappearing there sometimes. Knees come together. So I drop this knee down. Back knee comes up to the front knee, and then I turn. There we go. So that's a very helpful tip if that hasn't come together for you yet, is you bring the back knee to the front knee. The back knee to the front knee. And that's what you spin on. So you spin on your knees, back knee to the front knee, back knee to the front knee, back knee to the front knee, back knee to the front knee. And of course, when you're actually taking a full step forward, that's on the ball of the foot. And when you drop that knee, you drop the knee into the front, towards the other knee, and you turn on the knees. And then the other knee comes up. So you go in, drop down, one knee to the other knee, bring the other knee up. Do a full turn. Once you drop that knee to the other knee, you spin on the knees. So you drop one knee down, bring the other knee up to the other knee, turn on the knees. Good, okay. Yoko Otoshi, side break fall. Let's do a real quick review. This will be new for Breton. Side break fall. I start in half seiza, so this is seiza. I call this half seiza. So one knee up. So one knee up, I fall down on the low side, not the upside. Hand comes across, palm towards the floor, chin down. Other hand on the belly, where the belt would be. That's just to anchor it so it doesn't flip around, hit you in the face with the eye. Slide your butt off, keep your chin tucked, your head on your chest. You fall directly to the side, 90 degrees, not back. This is Joko, to the side. Slide off, head on chest, slap, finish with the knees in a triangle. Top leg is pointing directly to the ceiling with the knee. Okay, so for seventh cue, we do that in Tachiwaza, standing. So we start in Hami no Kamae, forward stance, drop down to the back knee, sit down, and then you're set up just like you were before. And if you want to go on the say the shape of your foot, so not on the ball, you go right down flat, slide off from here. So once you get to that position, it's exactly the same as before. We simply start in a forward stance, Hami no Kamae, kneel down, set up, go through the fall to the downside, low side. That arm is palm out, opposite shoulder, ready for the slap. Slide, head on the chest. What people usually really need to work on is getting a clear 90-degree angle. People tend to fall a little bit to the back corner. So direct fall. So go ahead and work that out, take your time. Or if you want to work both sides if you haven't. Good. So Bonnie Malad, that looks good. So we'll move on to Mai Otoshi, front break fall. This again, at this level is done from standing. So Tachi Waza Mai Otoshi, Kunyundo. I'm going to show it from kneeling for newer people and for review. Starting here, earlier program, And I make like a minucci shape with my hands. Minucci shape with my hands, but they're going to be more flat. Because I want to hit the ground with the meaty part of my hand and forearm. So I don't want to hit the ground with the blades. You can break a bone that way. So it's the soft, fleshy part of the hands. So it's a minucci shape, but more flat. So I have that triangular shape, but not the edge. Flat. So using the soft pads of the hands. So that's my setup shape. And as I fall, I'm going to turn my head to protect nose, chin, teeth. And I hit with this shape ground. And I don't want the stomach to touch if avoidable. So I don't break a rib or knock the wind out of me. If I demonstrate that, you'll notice I'll turn my head well before I'm close to the ground. If this is new for you, slide out here to the end position. This is the end position, if you can see that. That triangular shape. This is the end position. So as you fall, turn your head. Try a few of those. So make sure you turn your head nice and early. Train your body to turn that head, get safely out of the way. Yes, yes, Bonnie, that's right. So you do it from standing. So 7th cue, if you're senpai or Mladen or Bonnie, you do it from standing. All you do is you go from standing to kneeling. You do it in one smooth movement. So standing, kneeling, then turn the hips. That's right, Mladen. Yeah, that's right, Bonnie. Okay, that's good. Right. Minucci, different directions. Let's start with the basic 4 directions, Shiho Undo, and then we'll finish with 7th cue level 8 directions, Hapo Undo. Okay, so this is going to be new for Breton. I'm going to be going to different directions. Basically, I shift the weight forward and back in Tenkai. Sometimes it's going to be a step, sometimes it's going to be a Tenkai. But each time, I do Minucci. The more experienced people, stay aware of your posture, any leaning, stay anchored, sinking. Okay, so I'll narrate the first couple times the direction. So forward, Tenkai to the left, to the back wall, to the right, 90 degrees, Tenkai to the left, 180. And then we'll start again to the front. So that's 4 directions to start with. So forward, back wall, to the right, turn to the left, 180. Okay, so that's 4 directions. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear me, Tenkan to start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're just going to do 1 or 2 a direction because of the time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Step with the right foot to the back corner. Turn to the left, 180. Step to the right to the front corner. Turn to the left, 180. And then we can start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So that's the 7th cue version. Hang out in outer space. Expand as big as the universe. Breathing in, breathe out, come back to one planet. One planet, then you breathe in, expand to the entire universe. Come back to a very tiny, tiny planet. In other words, expanding out energetically, expansion,